But I think I also have found a piece of myself, one of them through Woman Beyond gitu. Karena dari situ aku udah mulai menemukan, oh this is the fire that I'm talking about gitu.
Halo teman-teman semua, selamat datang di videoku yang kali ini, dan aku kedatangan teman Excel Level, teman Women Beyond, teman di segala platform lah ya, ya Cinta Syafira. Hai Cim.
Halo Erika, hai,
Iya.
gue ya Cinta Syafira, dan di sini banyak ya temannya Erika as founder and president Women Beyond juga, bareng Erika as founder, and also sekarang juga udah kerja di salah satu growing digital company. Thank you for inviting me over ya, Er.
Thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts with us. Oke, mungkin langsung straight away ke first question ya, Cim ya.
Sure.
If you can be represented into one subject or one thing, what could it be?
Well, I always think one object that can represent me itu fire. I mean, itu sebenarnya start from dulu, kalau misalnya main game kan biasanya ada tulis nama ya, bikin-bikin username. Since namaku ada Syafira, biasanya I create it as fire gitu. I also think kayak, kenapa sih itu represent me? Because fire itu kan kayak when you're burning on fire, you're passionate. Then you always want to spread, spread fire around you, means you want to spread impacts around you. So I think I see myself as a passionate person, and when I have something like burning inside me, I always want to share it with others juga gitu. So I think it would be fire.
Oke, menarik banget. Tapi ini burning positively ya, jangan kayak
Burning
burn sampai
positively.
gosong.
Enggak dong, harus positif.
Oke. Mungkin next kita cerita sedikit tentang latar belakang Jin. Kayak, can you tell us a bit kayak how did you grow up, like your family gitu.
Sure, wow, ini pertanyaan yang cukup menarik ya, karena biasanya jarang nih aku dikulik personally, but I'm really happy to share, karena menurutku pengalaman personal, like family, childhood mungkin, itu bisa ngaruh banget ke who we are now, right? Kalau untuk aku sendiri, jadi aku dari dulu tuh pindah-pindah ya orangnya, karena ngikutin orang tua gitu. So I moved around to a lot of cities, I can say 5 or 6 cities gitu, dari kecil sampai aku SMA. Dan itu ngebuat aku jadi punya trait yang cukup adaptif ya. Dan mungkin people wonder kenapa aku nggak punya logat. Maybe that's the reason gitu. Soalnya aku emang pindah-pindah, jadi aku full Indonesia aja gitu ya. Karena kalau logatnya ada yang di Jawa, di Kalimantan, kan itu bisa beda banget ya. So, I think itu ngaruh banget ke sifatku adaptif. I can talk with various kinds of people yang seperti apapun gitu, which is good now. Tapi one of the downsides itu juga adalah I can never settle with my life gitu ya dari dulu, karena kan selalu pindah, always in new situation. I cannot like decide, okay, aku mau ngapain gitu untuk beberapa tahun ke depan, karena I don't know what will happen in a few years from now. Perhaps I will live in another city juga gitu. Nah itu, dan aku akhirnya baru bisa living a normal, kayak mulai start to plan everything itu di kuliah. Karena aku udah mulai stay kan di UGM. Dari dulu emang pengen masuk UGM, so I'm really glad I finally got in. Dan di situ aku udah mulai mikir nih untuk diriku sendiri kayak what do I want to do with my life gitu. Kenapa aku selama ini kayak ya udah gitu ngikut-ngikut aja, sekolah aja gitu, pulang pergi sekolah gitu nggak apa-ngapain. Jadi mulai tertampar nih pas kuliah gitu. Nah, terus akhirnya mulai join organisasi, join lomba-lomba. Terus ya eventually kayak tahun pertama, tahun kedua, I think one of the hardest challenges itu adalah not having a lot of people who support me. Karena ya mungkin nggak seperti sekarang ya, sekarang kan udah banyak webinar, banyak orang-orang yang mulai sharing gitu soal gimana sih mereka bisa sukses gitu, gimana mereka ngejalanin kuliah. Dulu tuh nggak ada kan ya, jadi mikirnya kalau misalnya aku mau ikut lomba, aku mau ikut apa, sometimes my friends will say, ambis banget sih gitu, atau kayak I don't feel like there are a lot of people who are supportive, and sometimes I feel like kok kayaknya what I'm doing is wrong gitu. Apakah aku seharusnya nggak kayak gini? Apakah aku seharusnya ya udah gitu like before, nggak lo yang ambitious banget, plan ini itu. Tapi one thing I like about me is I keep pursue what I want to do gitu despite everything. Jadi akhirnya it got me to where I am now gitu. Akhirnya bahkan aku bisa jadi ketua himpunan perempuan pertama di HMTI. And even though I am always on the journey of finding myself, and it's not over until now. Of course, we're still on that journey, but I think I also have found a piece of myself, one of them through Women Beyond gitu. Karena dari situ aku udah mulai menemukan, oh, this is the fire that I'm talking about gitu. Ini langkah pertamaku lah ya untuk akhirnya bisa spread impact to others. So I really hope that anyone also will find that fire within you dan akhirnya bisa spread impact to others juga.
Interesting, menarik banget sih. Tadi mungkin kalau aku recap dikit kan, tadi kamu merasa kayak di kuliah not having the right support system gitu kan. Terus kayak facing a lot of social barriers dari eksternal karena ya tadi ya mungkin kayak orang yang underestimate or apapun itu, tapi kamu bisa buktikan ke mereka kalau memang kamu bisa untuk posisi itu dan menjadi ketua himpunan di HMTI. Dan mungkin pertanyaanku kayak tadi kan mention juga tentang Women Beyond gitu. Since when the passion or the fire of WB itu started gitu? Apakah saat kuliah ataukah sebelum itu tuh sudah muncul gitu?
Oke, kalau about WB sendiri, to be honest, aku dari dulu emang always concerned about perempuan ya, karena ya dari kehidupan personal aja pasti sering dong dibanding-bandingin sama laki-laki, di underestimate, even from our own family gitu, kayak dibilang kamu nanti harus jadi ibu rumah tangga gitu, kamu nggak boleh kerja yang bagus-bagus banget, kamu nggak boleh pendidikannya tinggi banget. Itu aku udah ngerasain dari dulu, dan I feel like it's definitely a loss gitu for women, karena I mean harusnya itu jadi choice gitu, apakah perempuan pengen bekerja atau pengen berumah tangga aja, what do they want to do with their life, kenapa society itu ngurusin banget gitu kan. Jadi I've always been concerned about that, but sebelum kuliah atau sebelum tahun ketiga, tahun keempat, aku nggak pernah kepikiran untuk ngebangun suatu organisasi myself. Itu kayak jauh banget. Biasanya kan masih belajar, terus nggak kepikiran kalau sekecil aku ini bisa gitu buat move people around me. Nah, baru akhirnya mulai terrealisasi itu saat aku benar-benar yang jadi ketua himpunan perempuan pertama itu. Aku mulai merasakan secara spesifik gitu. Pas aku udah mulai naikin tangga leadership, ternyata orang ada yang mandang dari gender aja. And I also realized that happens to people around me gitu, untuk perempuan-perempuan sekitar aku. Dan di situ aku udah mulai menemukan gitu, apa sih sebenarnya isu yang aku pengen banget buat ganti gitu, karena aku ngerasain secara langsung, aku juga merasa teman-temanku banyak yang merasa itu. Jadi once I found that issue, aku merasa salah satu bentuk yang bisa dilakukan itu adalah dengan build organization, build non-profit organization, mungkin build yayasan juga gitu, yang berhubungan dengan isu tersebut. Dan I think itu saat dimana aku mulai tanya-tanya ke orang juga, gimana sih kalau pengen spread impact to others, gimana sih kalau pengen build organization. And also that's when I found you and Jasmine. I mean, for everyone here, you should know Erika and Jasmine, itu one of the co-founders. Really great, already believe in the idea since the very first day. Bahkan dulu belum ada nama Women Beyond ya. Kita bikin bareng waktu itu. Jadi benar-benar scratch banget idenya, dan you already believe in that. Also one story that I cannot miss untuk kasih tahu juga adalah waktu itu sebenarnya yang juga help spark the fire itu adalah, aku kan dulu pas concern about that issue, I create a LinkedIn post. Dulu aku suka create LinkedIn post kan, and one of them is about women empowerment. Dan I never expected anything to come out of it. Cuman kayak, aku mau spread awareness aja gitu. Dan I want people to read about it, probably change their mind about some things gitu kan. But surprisingly, ada seseorang yang aku nggak menyangka, dia nggak komen di postingan tersebut. Dan beliau adalah CEO dari AirAsia. I mean kayak CEO of a really big airline company commented on my post. I'm like, wow gitu. Berarti beliau benar-benar care banget about this issue gitu. She literally commented about kalau you need help, just reach out to me gitu. So I definitely reach out to her gitu kan. I reach out to her, I message her, and she invited me for a meeting, for a call. Jadi aku langsung siapin pitch deck dengan benar-benar scratch banget idenya soal an organization that I want to build about women empowerment, and then pitched it to her gitu, dan dia benar-benar what can I do to help gitu, and she agreed to be our mentor, which is really great. Beliau juga udah jadi speaker ya di 2 acara besar Women Beyond, di Beyond Summit. I think benar-benar having mentors, having people to talk about this, yang support this movement, itu benar-benar help banget sih untuk Women Beyond. Karena itu make us believe that this worth something gitu. Even orang yang udah bekerja lama, udah merasakan langsung di workforce, they also think that movement like this matters gitu and can change the society in the long run.
Wow. Ini sebenarnya aku udah pernah dengar cerita ini pastinya, tapi kayak I'm still amazed gitu loh. Setiap kali aku dengar kayak
Yeah, of
kayak
course.
that's like
Jadi,
1 year ago, right?
yeah, 1 year ago. Wow, udah 1 tahun kita.
And like never imagine that WB still exist until now, dan kayak we're still growing gitu loh. Masih banyak orang yang belum kita reach dan kita pengen reach mereka, ya kan?
Bener banget. Even member kita udah hampir 50 ya. Udah terus Mentis juga udah hampir 100. I think wow, amazing, and we can definitely still do more.
Ya. We can actually escalate ya. Dulu tuh member kita if I'm not mistaken less than 10 ya dulu ya.
Iya, awalnya cuman 1 orang di masing-masing divisi sih. Bener-bener kecil banget dulu.
Iya, tapi kita bisa sekarang grow until 50 ya. Oke. Mungkin tadi kan kamu sempat mention gitu kayak having the support system tuh really matters gitu.
Yeah.
Kayak aku cuma pengen mengulik lebih dalam aja sih, kayak why do you think that having support system itu tuh penting gitu, kayak itu juga bakalan lead to why Women Beyond like this platform tuh should exist gitu.
Right. I think having support system matter because ini especially untuk women issues ya. Jadi ada namanya stereotype threat, kayak women or any minority to be honest, itu sometimes they don't have the courage untuk step up ke suatu opportunity yang more likely membuat mereka exposed to stereotypes. One of them adalah misalnya perempuan yang mau step up ke leadership gitu kan. Perempuan yang mau menjadi career woman for example. Karena di situ jadi akan ada stereotype yang muncul, dan itu biasanya membuat, ini mungkin disebut imposter syndrome juga ya, membuat perempuan-perempuan merasa they don't deserve to be there, or they just want to avoid that at all cost gitu, supaya bisa menghindari itu semua gitu. Dan itu salah satu yang menyebabkan itu akhirnya terjadi, itu karena nggak ada support system around them. I mean, we all need support system around us kan. Sometimes our mind can play tricks to us gitu ya, yang membuat kita underestimate ourselves, membuat kita merasa we're not worth it gitu untuk something yang seharusnya kita probably overqualified gitu kan. And that's where support system plays out, I think. Especially untuk perempuan gitu, dan support system bisa siapapun ya, bisa teman, bisa keluarga, bisa mentor, bisa partner juga gitu, yang always remind us that we're worth it for something that we want to pursue. I think itu yang paling penting. Dan di Women Beyond sendiri itu we also provide support system, baik itu antar member kita gitu, ataupun juga dengan orang-orang yang join our event, yang join our mentoring for example. Kita nggak mau cuman transaksional doang gitu kan, hanya sekedar kita kasih materi udah gitu selesai. But we also want it to be long term. We also want it to be something that can help them whenever they need gitu ya. Kita bisa support mereka gitu, bisa lewat our contents, lewat our mentors, lewat our members juga gitu. Nah, about why I think it should exist juga, itu sebenarnya in the long run, I mean support itu kan bisa kapanpun kita lakukan dari sekarang gitu kan. In the long run, I think it will matter, especially in the workforce ya. Ini relate dengan glass ceiling, which is kemarin di event Beyond Summit kita juga ngebahas soal itu bareng sama Veranita dan Shaila Zen from Deloitte. Well, glass ceiling itu kan sebenarnya perumpamaan untuk adanya social barrier yang invisible ya, makanya glass ceiling. Well, kenapa perempuan itu biasanya nggak bisa step up sampai top leadership position. Itu bisa ada di karir, bisa ada di organisasi juga, or anywhere really. Karena leadership kan ada banyak ya itu istilahnya. Nah, terus juga on top of that, di Indonesia, women also earn 23% less than men on average. Itu based on UN Women. I think itu juga ngaruh banget ya. Kalau kemarin kita dengar share dari Vera, itu juga menyampaikan kalau penyebabnya ada wage gap ini juga karena perempuan merasa mereka itu nggak worth it gitu untuk bisa fight for the salary they are worth for gitu kan. Merasa juga kalau ada opportunity for senior leadership position merasa kurang mampu, kurang pantas, dan itu balik lagi karena mindset, karena support system juga gitu. And I think dengan Women Beyond ini try to have user yang ada di kuliah gitu, para mahasiswa-mahasiswa, itu saat yang tepat banget buat build mindset gitu. Karena nanti akan terbawa juga, kan mahasiswa akan jadi the future leaders of Indonesia, right? So they will bring that mindset to wherever they will be. Mau itu di company, perhaps ada yang sampai ke pemerintahan and actually can change any regulation gitu kan. I think itu matters banget, and that's why Women Beyond is here for university students, because we believe that creating that mindset and having the support system can actually change the society in the long run.
Wow. I do agree banget ya. That's why kayak kita tuh trying to boost like the confidence of our mentees lah. Terus kayak try to build some sort of like support system supaya mereka feel like kalau mereka punya hardships or any obstacles tuh mereka bisa share kan to each of us gitu. Tapi mungkin aku pengen nanya deh, tadi kan udah di-share ya. Kalau Women Beyond itu bisa membantu untuk istilahnya lessen the imposter syndrome or like create the support system. Secara konkretnya nih, Cin, kayak how Women Beyond influence and impact these women's life gitu.
Secara konkretnya, well, we have 3 events, right? Ada Beyond Summit, di mana itu workshop bentuknya, jadi bisa ngebantu lebih banyak orang spread the awareness. So it's definitely very important in terms of quantity, right? Dan kita juga invite women leaders in Indonesia yang mereka sudah bertahun-tahun berpengalaman, udah tahu banget nih struggle ya women kan di workforce maupun dimanapun mereka ada gitu. Dan I think it's great karena it can increase the awareness. Dan kita juga udah 8 kali ya sekarang running, apalagi sekarang kita lagi ada series means 3 kali, dan setiap eventnya bisa jadi ada 50 sampai 100 orang, means almost 800 people already are aware gitu about women issue. Second one, we also have Women Beyond Leadership Mentoring, di mana sekarang udah 2 batch. Nah, di mentoring ini kita kan ada mentor-mentor yang umurnya nggak jauh beda nih sama mahasiswa-mahasiswa, biasanya mungkin tahun terakhir atau baru lulus atau 2 tahun lulus gitu ya. Tujuannya adalah semakin dekat, semakin tahu sekarang gimana sih keadaannya di kuliah itu gitu. Misalnya ada yang di chamber, let's say law gitu, gimana caranya bisa impact those law students atau orang yang tertarik ke law untuk bisa akhirnya nanti leading in that field gitu, ataupun other chamber like organization, community, sustainability. And we also look to expand the chambers, dan makanya kita lagi ngadain research juga biar makin sesuai gitu ya sama interest sekarang gimana. Dan karena udah 2 batch, kita juga totalnya udah hampir 100 untuk Women Beyond Leadership Mentoring ini. Ini sifatnya lebih in-depth lagi gitu, dapat supportive group juga. I think it will be really good, it will be really great, and I hope kedepannya kita juga akan nge-track ya dari 100 mentees ini kedepannya berapa sih yang akhirnya mereka actually live up gitu to their own dreams in their own chambers gitu. And for the last one, we have BIC, namanya Beyond Impact Circle. It's a support group, literally support group gitu ya. Jadi just women yang berkumpul terus diskusi soal their life, soal hal-hal yang seputar perempuan juga, soal their dreams. Dan I think it also really matters gitu, karena back again supportive group itu matters. Dan dengan 3 ini juga ada network yang timbul dari situ, karena as we all know network itu benar-benar ngaruh banget untuk karir atau untuk kedepannya personal development, dapat mentor segala macam. I think that's how Women Beyond influences and impact women's lives for now. Certainly hope we will upscale the impact even more in the future.
Oke, menarik banget. Jadi kayak, we can say like more or less like 1,000 women have been impacted from Women Beyond from our programs. Yeah.
True. Oh yeah, don't
Definitely.
forget the 5,000 women following our Instagram.
Yeah. So like 6,000. Okay. So definitely kan there are a lot of women that we haven't reached kan.
Yes.
If you could give some advices to women yang di sana yang belum masuk ke reach Women Beyond, tapi they see this video, like what can you share?
There are definitely a lot of women who mungkin belum dengar, mungkin doesn't have the privilege enough untuk ngebuka Zoom kan, buka Instagram and all that. Hopefully anyone who haven't been reached by Women Beyond sebelumnya, one advice, I think it comes from my personal experience. It's more like, don't be afraid to be different from others. Like, do what works for you. Picture your life the way you want it to be. Gitu. Karena sometimes when you feel like ada imposter syndrome tadi, you feel like you're not worth it, you feel like people around you are doing different things from you, and that you feel like you are not worth it, you have to stand strong gitu. Don't be afraid. And you're the one who will live with yourself, right? For all your life, bukan orang-orang sekitarmu gitu. So don't be afraid to chase, to pursue the dream that you've always wanted. Dan karena regardless apakah you receive support from others or not, you should definitely support others. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Support them for their dreams gitu. Don't ridicule people for wanting to be different from you. Just as like you don't want anyone to ridicule you for being different from others, right? So I think itu sih, try to be authentic to yourself, try to find out what you want to do with your life gitu, whatever that may be. I mean, di Women Beyond kita always want women to be leaders, and that means leaders in every field that you can think of, everywhere that you want to be in your life gitu.
Oke, menarik banget ya. So remember, be authentic, picture your life like as what you want gitu. As mungkin kemarin Vera juga sempat mention itu ya di sesinya We On Summit ya.
Yes,
Even like the CEO of AirAsia, she mentions that she is trying to be authentic kan.
Yeah, that's true. Not trying to impress a lot of people, you know. Ella juga mentioned like you have to leverage your strength, right? Which is once again true gitu kan.
True. Okay, mungkin just last questions terakhir sebelum kita closing ya. Kita ngomongin dikit tentang glass ceiling. Kayak, why do you think like glass ceiling exists? Like, is it an issue that we need to solve? And what actionable items that we can do, both for men and women ya, nggak cuma untuk women, that we can do to reduce the glass ceiling gitu.
Okay, I think glass ceiling exists because first the mindset of people, be it women or men, sama ya pokoknya, the mindset, and then I actually want to introduce a theory about unconscious bias and conscious inclusion. I think glass ceiling exists because of unconscious bias. We have this, society's expectation. Mungkin untuk men, they know the expectation of society, women seharusnya gini. Hence creating that bias. For women, they also biasanya on the receiving end gitu kan of the stereotypes. Hence they also have the bias gitu. Jadi ini matters buat semuanya. Dan I think unconscious bias, we know bias, right? Bias kan biasanya misalnya kalau kita melihat seseorang ini, ada preference to pick one type of person over another. There are several types of bias dan itu bisa ada hubungannya dengan gender juga. Ini akan agak lama, but I hope you can stay with me karena this is a very interesting approach gitu for this. So biases itu biasanya ada 3, ada affinity bias, benevolent bias, and confirmation bias. For affinity bias itu biasanya we have the tendency to favor those who are like us, yang mirip sama kita. Jadi we might give them advantages simply because they're like us. Dan ini sering banget, misalnya yang go to the same university gitu kan, mungkin sama-sama perempuan, sama-sama laki-laki gitu kan, itu affinity bias, itu bisa ngaruh banget nanti saat promotion, saat election misalnya gitu kan. And then the second one is itu benevolent bias. Nah benevolent bias ini biasanya cenderung intensinya bagus tapi executionnya buruk. Dia tuh tujuannya adalah taking care of, so it's taking care of bias. Misalnya gini, let's say ada perempuan sama laki-laki yang mau dipromot. Nah, tapi si perempuan ini baru aja melahirkan. Jadi dia baru back from maternity leave, let's say gitu ya. So just back to work, probably a month gitu ya, have a just newborn kan. Dan ada laki-laki. They both have the same qualification gitu, let's say. Terus ada satu terbuka nih promotion, itu bisa untuk keduanya. Nah, benevolent bias ini terjadi apabila let's say hiring manager ini ya. Let's say hiring manajernya itu akhirnya pilih sang laki-laki ini karena di pikirannya si perempuan ini baru punya newborn nih. Jadi kayaknya dia nggak bisa deh gitu. Kasihan nanti dia harus bagi waktu kayak gimana. Jadi mending kita kasih ke laki-laki without consulting with the woman first. So you see the intention is good. Dia mau taking care, right? Dia mau peduli nih sama si perempuan ini. Tapi the decision was poor karena dia nggak consult dulu gitu. Padahal bisa aja si perempuan ini meskipun baru punya newborn, dia merasa dia qualified, dia merasa dia bisa kok manage waktu gitu. I mean, kenapa jadi orang lain gitu yang mikirin soal dia bisa manage waktu atau enggak? We should definitely consult first, right? So that's another thing about bias. And the last one itu confirmation bias. Confirmation bias itu biasanya kita kalau misalnya udah punya stereotype sesuatu ya, kita tuh cenderung untuk nggak ngelihat sesuatu dengan objektif. Karena we're trying to confirm what's in our mind. For example, ada orang yang udah melihat women itu, cewek biasanya kalau lagi period emang suka marah-marah gitu misalnya. Nah, jadi misalnya lagi ada leader perempuan, terus dia lagi emotional gitu ya, emosi karena ada pekerjaan yang kurang beres segala macam. Dan karena ada confirmation bias itu jadi mikirnya, oh dia kan emang mungkin lagi in her period gitu, makanya marah-marah gitu. Padahal that's probably wrong gitu. But we're not trying to seek for the right answer karena kita udah punya stereotype itu. We're trying to confirm with the bias that we already have in our mind. Nah, those 3 biases tadi ya, affinity, benevolent, and confirmation bias, itu bisa terjadi ke siapapun. Itu bisa nanti ngaruh ke decision gitu, whether in workforce, dimanapun, atau mungkin even our personal decision for ourselves untuk perempuan-perempuan juga. Nah, caranya itu adalah dengan melakukan conscious inclusion. Tadi kan unconscious bias ya. Now we make it conscious. Karena unconscious itu memang sesuatu yang sometimes it's hard to change, then we have to consciously change it. And it takes effort, of course, gitu. Karena it's conscious gitu. Nah, gimana sih caranya? We have to look at our micro behavior. Jadi misalnya, whether you're at the receiving end atau you're the one who's doing the bias gitu, we have to be aware dengan kita tuh gimana sih melihat seseorang gitu. Apakah kita yakin kita melihatnya secara objektif, or do we have biases gitu. Bisa di checklist tadi dari bias yang kita punya tadi, do we have bias to these people, and how does it affect our behavior to them? That's the most important thing. Having bias to others, it's fine, but not when we make decision based on the bias gitu. Kayak misal, okay, perhaps this hiring manager have a bias pas ngelihat perempuan dan laki-laki, tapi decision-nya apakah terpengaruh sama bias itu? Nah, itu jangan sampai. Jadi itu bisa big behavior, bisa micro behavior juga. So I think it's very important for us. So I think the actionable step itu tadi itu ya, see what are our behavior to others gitu. Gimana kita juga perhaps punya bias ke diri sendiri yang membuat kita jadi questioning ourselves, kita jadi not taking opportunity that are good for us gitu. And if you're on the receiving end, means for women, sometimes kita juga jadi penerima dari orang yang punya bias gitu kan. Sometimes kita merasa orang nggak support, orang nggak choose us. We also have to remember that it is not intentional sometimes because of this unconscious bias. Jadi we have to act on how to manage them. Learn how to manage, for example, be vocal about you gitu ya. Be vocal about what you want, be vocal about what you're feeling as well. And once again, be authentic tadi itu ya. Jadi communicate what you think. Kalau misalnya you feel like ini kok ada unfairness happen, you have to communicate that gitu. Karena once again, it takes effort from both sides. So I think that's the actionable steps. First, to realize your unconscious bias, and then to turn it into conscious inclusion. So.
Wow, interesting banget. Ini both applies for men and women ya.
Yes.
So like analyzing our micro behavior and try to analyze lah decisions yang taken itu apakah influenced by unconscious bias or not kan.
Yes.
Dan mungkin to give some examples kayak kemarin tuh pas di session We On Summit juga Bu Vera sempat cerita ya tentang ini kayak she's being aware kalau misalnya sometimes kayak kalau mungkin ada period atau apapun itu dia being emotional kan. And what actions that she took adalah she consciously tell all the people gitu, oh kayaknya I'm having like emotional instability lah misalnya in this meeting misalnya, okay, can I take a break gitu kan ya. And I think that examples really represent what you said sih tadi tentang conscious inclusion, right?
Yes, that's true. Benar. Better to communicate it always. Communicate takes effort, but that's what's needed, right?
Yep, definitely. Benar. Okay, so I think we have discussed like all things yang mungkin tentang Women Beyond, tentang women empowerment as well. So
yes,
like 3 words to close this video, right? 3 words that you want to say to our audience.
3 words, right? Well, if I have to say 3 words for the last part of this video, it would be pay it forward. I think pay it forward means like even if misalnya kalian merasa you're privileged enough to receive support, receive help, receive kindness from others around you in the past, then do the same to those around you who don't have the same experiences. Itu basically the foundation of every impact, right? When you receive something or when you don't receive something, you still have to pay it forward, right? Treat others like the way you want to be treated. And I think dengan adanya these principles, setiap orang pay it forward, setiap orang give kindness to others, it will change how our society will look like.
Wow, menarik banget. And that's what we did ya mungkin ya, Jen.
Yes, that's what we did.
I think we are privileged enough, right, to have like a good support system, the right support system, dan kita trying to build it for others yang mungkin experience differently lah ya.
Yes, that's definitely true. That's why Women Beyond is here, because we all want to pay it forward, and I hope that everyone will also do the same gitu.
Okay, yay. Thank you so much for our discussion, and see you on the next video then. Bye.
Bye, thank you.